Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech and these are the best features and important tips and tricks for your Redmi Y2. First I'll be covering the hardware based features, then I'll be looking at the software features, and after that I'll show you some important tips and tricks. So if you're bored anywhere, just skip ahead, but make sure you check out the tips and tricks section. Now with that said, the first best feature about this phone is definitely its display. This phone packs a 5.99-inch HD Plus display with the new 18:9 aspect ratio with smaller bezels at the top and bottom. Now this isn't really a great display as it simply has an HD Plus resolution, but still a pretty good upgrade from the last year's Redmi Y1. Now the next best feature about this phone would be the portrait mode for both the front and rear cameras. Now this phone packs a dual camera setup on the rear with a 12 megapixel primary camera and a 5 megapixel secondary camera with f2.2 aperture, and on the front it has a 16 megapixel selfie camera with f2.0 aperture. Now these are the sample portrait shots taken using the front and rear cameras. In bad lighting conditions, images don't look all that great, but these are probably the best portrait shots that you can get at this price. Now the next best feature about this phone, which probably everyone misses, is Auto HDR. Now unlike any other Redmi phone released so far, this phone comes with Auto HDR for both the front and rear cameras. Now this particular feature allows you to take better pictures even when there is a great dynamic range. Most people don't use HDR mode often, but with Auto HDR, your phone can enable for you based on the situation. Now the next best feature on this phone would be the electronic image stabilization. Once again, unlike other Redmi phones in this price segment, this phone comes with electronic image stabilization. Here's the sample footage. While recording the video, footage seems a little choppy, but the results are pretty good. Now the next feature in the list is the face unlock. Now this phone also supports face unlock feature that we have been seeing on the Redmi Note 5 Pro, and it's pretty fast in good lighting conditions, and in low light it struggles a little. On the whole, a pretty fancy feature to show off. Now the next best thing about this phone would be the dedicated SD card slot. Now this thing is really a game changer. Unlike other phones in this price segment from Redmi like the Redmi Note 5 or the Note 5 Pro, this phone comes with a dedicated SD card slot, which makes it a very good competitor against phones like Honor 7A, 7C, Redmi Y1, which all come with a dedicated SD card slot. So that's definitely a huge advantage for people who want good hardware at low price with expanded memory option. Now the next best feature about this phone would definitely be its performance. Now the last generation Redmi Y1 came with a 400 series processor, while this phone comes with a Snapdragon 625 processor, which is definitely a huge improvement in performance. I know 625 is old, 630 or 636 would have been great, but for the price, it's definitely appreciated. Now the next best feature on this phone that comes right out of the box would be the full screen display gestures. Now just like the iPhone X, we have navigation gestures with this phone and they come right out of the box. You can swipe from the bottom to go home, swipe and hold for recent apps, swipe from the left side or right side to go back. Once you start using them, they are pretty addictive. Next we can take pictures using the fingerprint scanner. In the stock camera application, simply touch the fingerprint scanner to take pictures. Now this feature has been around for a long time, and I really wish Xiaomi could add something new like pulling down the notification bar using the fingerprint scanner. Next we have an infrared blaster at the top. We can use the Xiaomi's MI remote app that comes pre-installed on the phone to control TV, AC or anything that has an infrared receiver. Just in case if you can't find a remote in MI remote app, you can also use third-party applications like Peel Smart Remote to use the infrared sensor on your phone. Next we have Quick Ball. It is a floating bubble with some quick shortcuts and gestures. You can find it in the advanced settings section. You can touch it to pop open additional settings and swipe it to quickly perform an action. This is one of the best implementation of floating bubble out there. Next we have some gestures, and we'll first start with double tap to wake. Once you enable this feature, when your phone is locked, you can simply double tap the screen to wake it up. Now you can use this feature along with face unlock to make unlocking the phone a more seamless experience. Next we have two quick shortcuts to open the camera application. First we have a button shortcut where we can press the power button twice anywhere to open the camera application. It doesn't matter if your phone is locked or unlocked. You can simply press the power button twice to open the camera application. Next we have another shortcut to open the camera application from the lock screen settings. Now in the lock screen you can press the volume down button twice to open the camera application. Now this only works if your phone is locked or if you're in the lock screen. If your phone is unlocked, this shortcut will not work. Next we have 3-finger screenshot. Before I come to that, let me show you how to take a normal screenshot. To take a normal screenshot, simply press the volume down and power button both at the same time, and it will take the screenshot. Now coming to the 3-finger screenshot, simply enable this feature and swipe down using 3 fingers and it will take a screenshot. This is one of my favorite features on this phone. Next we have long screenshot. Now once you take a screenshot, you get a quick preview on the top right corner of the screen. Just click that and you'll get the option to take a long screenshot. Once you click the button, it will scroll through the page and take a very long screenshot. Next we have Google Assistant. Google Assistant has been there for a very long time now, but it is pretty new for the Xiaomi phones. Simply press and hold the home button to trigger Google Assistant. For the first time you need to configure it, and once you're done, you can ask Google to do a lot of things like setting up alarms, timers, doing a normal Google search and asking it some specific questions. Next we have a quick shortcut to turn on the torch. We can configure the shortcut from these settings over here. I have checked all of them except for double tapping the power button option. There isn't anything good out there. So if you're not going to use the power button to trigger camera, you can use it to trigger the torch. Next we have mirror buttons. Now this is again something very minor, but many phones, especially the stock Android phones, doesn't offer you this feature. If you want to swap the back and recent apps button, you can simply do it from this setting. Next we have dual apps. Xiaomi has this feature called dual apps, which allows you to use two instances of the same application. So you can use two WhatsApp accounts, two Facebook accounts, two Twitter accounts on the same phone. Now there are other phones, other brands that are offering the same feature, but Xiaomi so far has the best implementation. You can literally enable dual apps for all applications, and you can also use dual apps feature on third-party launchers, which is something missing on other phones. Next we have pocket mode. Once you enable this feature, your phone's display will not respond when the phone is in your pocket. It's a feature to prevent accidental touches of your phone when it's in your pocket. Next we have reading mode. Xiaomi has this feature called reading mode, which on other phones is called night mode, where it adds a warm tint to the screen to protect your eyes at night by filtering the blue light. We can change the intensity of the reading mode. We can automatically enable it at a specific time. Now this is something we rarely see in other phones. Next we have SMS scheduler. Now using this feature we can automatically send messages to anyone at a specific time. Now to schedule an SMS, this is what you need to do. I don't see any people sending messages these days, but this might come in handy to send birthday wishes automatically at a specific time. Next we have auto start permission. Now there are some apps that no matter how many times you kill them, close them, some apps simply start running automatically in the background, like Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Flipkart and so on. And all those apps end up draining the battery. So from this settings page, you can disable them from auto starting in the background and thereby improving the battery life. Next we have auto call recording. There are very few brands out there that even give us the option to record calls, and Xiaomi even gives us the option to record calls automatically. Now to enable this feature, simply go to the phone dialer, press and hold the menu button, and we see the option to record calls. From here we can choose to record the calls automatically of all the contacts that you know of, or simply all the calls. Next we have secondary space. This feature creates a small box kind of a thing in your phone where you can have different set of accounts, different apps and so on. If you need a different workspace for your work and for your personal life, it's a very handy feature. But considering the specs of this phone, I wouldn't recommend you using this feature as it might slow down your phone and even affect your battery life. Next we have one-handed mode. Now this phone comes with a massive 6-inch display and it's definitely not usable in a single hand. And for some reason, if you want to compulsorily use it in a single hand, you can enable the one-handed mode. Simply enable this feature and swipe left or right on the navigation bar starting from home, and it will shrink the screen size. You can do the same thing again to exit the mode. Next we have the option to restrict background app usage. MIUI offers us additional options to tweak individual apps to further improve battery life. We can completely stop applications from running in the background as soon as we leave them, or disable network usage once the application is in the background, and do stuff like that to improve the battery life. It might help, but usually its effects are not easily visible. Next we have themes. If you like to tweak the look and feel of your phone, MIUI is one of the best ROMs out there. It has thousands of themes which might fit your preference perfectly. By the way, my favorite theme is the Black Legacy. Next we have lock screen carousel. On the lock screen, there is a button on the top right corner of the screen. Just press that and swipe on the lock screen left or right to change the wallpapers. We also have additional settings to change the lock screen wallpaper automatically and the option to change the frequency too. Next we have some hidden equalizer settings. If you use the MIUI stock music player and want to tweak the equalizer for your preference, or simply want the best audio experience for your Xiaomi headset, you can do all that from here. Next we have wireless display. Using this feature we can cast the screen of your phone to a Chromecast or a TV with Mirrorcast or even your Mi TV. Once you cast your screen, Everything that you do on your phone will be visible on your TV. Next we have MI Mover. If you already have a Xiaomi phone and want to send all your data from your old phone to this new Redmi phone, you can use this feature. It will literally transfer everything, your data, pictures, videos, apps, contacts, messages and everything from your old phone to your new phone. Next we have MI Drop. This is a new feature from Xiaomi to transfer data from one Xiaomi phone to another. It works just like Share It, but comes pre-installed on all the Xiaomi phones and works really well. So guys, those were the best features. Now let's look at some important tips and tricks. Now on this phone, if you want to use the split screen mode, you need to go to recent apps, click this button over here and then drag the first application that you want to open in the split screen mode and then select the second application. Now this is how we can do it. This is a really useful feature, but right now all the apps do not support this feature. For example, if I try to open Instagram, we'll get an error message saying this app is not compatible. So to make it compatible or to use all the applications in the split screen mode, you need to first enable the developer options. For that, go to settings, then select about, that's the first option. Then click the MIUI version number 7 times. Now once you do that, developer options will be enabled. Then go back, scroll all the way to the bottom, then select additional settings, scroll to the bottom, then select developer options. Now scroll all the way to the bottom and enable force activities to be resizable. Just enable this toggle and restart the phone. Once you restart the phone, you will be able to use all the applications in the split screen mode. Next, I'll show you how to configure the split screen mode shortcut. Now on all the phones, you can simply press the recent apps button to open the split screen mode, but that doesn't work on this phone. So to make that work, go to settings, then select additional settings, then select button and gesture shortcut. From here, select open split screen. Now over here, select long press menu button, replace. Now from now on, simply press and hold the recent apps button to open split screen mode. So here's a quick preview. Now we are on YouTube. I'm doing a long press and I've opened the split screen mode. So it is as simple as that. Next we have some lock screen shortcuts. Now this is the lock screen, and if you swipe to the right side, we have these shortcuts. This is a shortcut for the torch. Now we have other shortcuts like Mi Home. If you have any Mi Home appliances like MI Smart Home Assist or MI Smart Bulb, you can control it from here. If you have configured any Mi Remote, you can click this button over here to directly go to the Mi Remote application. Now for the third option, we have the wallpaper carousel. Once you enable it, we can simply change the lock screen wallpaper by swiping left or right. So those are the lock screen shortcuts. We have another shortcut to open the camera application from the lock screen. Now we have a small camera icon over here. Simply click on it and drag to the left side to open the camera application. Now memory optimization on this phone is good, but it can be made better. So to improve memory management on this phone, go to settings, then additional settings, and then go to developer options. And scroll all the way to the bottom and make sure you disable memory optimization. This is it. Simply turn it off and restart the phone. Once you do that, memory management will improve on your phone and your phone will be able to keep more applications in memory. Now for a quick shortcut, let's say you have opened 2 applications, Google Keep and YouTube. If you want to quickly switch between the current application and the previous application, simply press the recent tabs button twice. So it is as simple as that, and you can quickly switch between the current application and the previous application. Next, I'll show you something called picture-in-picture mode, which is available starting from Android Oreo. Now let's say you're using Google Maps for navigation. Now once you press home button, the Google Maps application will shrink and give you a quick preview in this window. This is the picture-in-picture mode. If you have YouTube Red subscription, you can also watch YouTube videos in this picture-in-picture mode. And if you are watching videos on Google Chrome and when you press the home button, once again that video will play in the picture-in-picture mode. It's really a handy feature, but right now YouTube is not supported for everyone. Next, I'll show you how to display the memory usage on the recent apps page. Now by default, you won't be seeing these memory details on the recent apps page. So to display that, go to settings, then select home screen and recent. From here, enable this toggle to show the memory status on the recent apps page. And this is how it looks once you enable it. Now for another quick tip, if you're watching videos on YouTube, you might be seeing 2 black bars on either side. So to go full screen, you can simply do a pin gesture and the video will go full screen. So it is as simple as that. Next, I'll show you how to change the default launcher, default gallery app, default messaging app, and so on. So for that, go to settings, then select installed apps. Now from here, select menu and select default apps. Now from here, you can change your default launcher, default phone dialer, default messaging app, default browser, and so on. Now for just a reference, I'm going to set Google Chrome as the default launcher, and for gallery application, I'll select Google Photos. Now if you have installed any third-party launcher like Nova Launcher and want to set it as your default home launcher, you need to come here, select launcher, and select Nova Launcher and make it as default. And that's how you do it. Next we have something called full screen display. Now most of the applications open in the full screen mode, but there are some applications, especially games, that do not open in the full screen mode. You will be seeing two black bars on either side. Then you can come to full screen display, then select full screen mode and select the application that is not displayed in the full screen mode. For example, these applications are not opened in the full screen mode. Now for a quick reference, let me show you sensors. So this is the sensors application and it is not full screen. You can see a black bar at the bottom. So just go to this page, enable full screen mode, and then when you open sensors again or any such application, it will go full screen. So just for a quick suggestion, just enable this toggle for all the applications. If the application is not working properly for some reason, then disable this toggle. Next, I'll show you how to set an app lock on this phone. For that, go to settings, scroll all the way to the bottom. We have setting called app lock. From here, we can lock applications. For starters, I'll be locking only the gallery application. Now set password. From here, we can set a different password for our app lock. This can be different from your lock screen password. So I'm just going to go with this. Now we can even unlock locked application using the fingerprint scanner. So if you want to do that, simply verify your fingerprint. Then you will be able to unlock locked applications using your fingerprint. For some reason, if you want to disable that, you can go to settings over here and deselect this option. Now you won't be able to unlock locked applications with the fingerprint. Let me just enable that. Now when I open the gallery application, it will ask for the password. Now I can either enter the password or use the fingerprint. Now let me just use the fingerprint. Now if you go to the home screen and try to open the application again, it will not ask you for the password. But if you lock the phone and unlock the phone and then try to open the application, then it will definitely ask you for the password. If you want to change anything related to the app lock, you can come here to do that. Next, I'll show you how to hide files on this phone. So for that, open the file manager. Here we go. Now swipe all the way down like this. Now once you do that, it will turn on the secure folder feature. Now you can set a different password even for the file vault or the file safe, and then use it to hide files. Now to hide any files, you can click this button and select the file, or else in your file manager, you can simply select the file. Let's say I want to hide this particular image. I can press menu and then select hide. And that's how you can hide files. We can also do the same even for messages. So basically you can hide messages in the default messaging app. So once again, you can swipe down to open the file manager kind of a thing. Once again, enter the password. This is the same password that you use to hide files. Now from here, you can hide messages. Now to hide any messages or to make any message private, you need to go over here, then select the contact to make it private. So whenever you receive any message from that person, it will be hidden. Now to wrap it up, I'll show you how to display the battery percentage and the network usage on the status bar. For that, go to settings and then select notification and status bar. Once you are here, enable this toggle to show the network speed on the status bar, and you can select this option and select percentage to display the battery percentage on the status bar. Now for some quick tips, if you want to change the order of these toggles, simply select this button, that's sort, and you can swipe up or swipe down these toggles or these options to change the order over here. Now this is the default home launcher, and if you want to move any of these icons or applications, simply press and hold them and move it to your desired location. If you want to change the home screen, go to the corner and it will change the home screen. Now if you want to select multiple applications and move them together, you can do a pin gesture, select multiple applications, touch and hold them and move them all together to a different screen. Now you can also select them and click group to create a folder and put all those applications in that folder. Once again, if you do the pin gesture, you get some additional options over here. First option is for wallpapers. So if you want to change any wallpaper, you can do it from here. And it changes the lock screen wallpaper and the home screen wallpaper. Next, if you want to add any new widgets to the home screen, select the second option. From here, you can add any new widget. Now finally, if you want additional settings, click the third option, that's the settings, and you get more. If you want to change the default home screen, select this option. And from here, you can select the default home screen for your home launcher. So I'll go with this. Now whenever I press the home button, no matter where I am, I'll always come to this particular screen. So guys, those were the best features and important tips and tricks for your Redmi Y2. If I missed out on anything important, do let me know by commenting below this video. If you are planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description. It really helps the channel. If you want me to make any specific video on this phone or any other phone out there, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.